about grief, there are always obvious emotional things that are happening with people. However, did you know that there are also common physical things that can happen because of grief? Today we're going to be discussing the physical symptoms that you might experience on your grief journey. Stay tuned. When you're in grief, sometimes things happen in your body and they kind of seem unrelated to your grief, but they actually are a common symptom of things that can happen when you are on a grief journey. Your body is working overtime to kind of process what is happening to you, and because of that, different things can happen. You might think like, am I crazy? Is this actually happening? But it is, it's normal, it's common. So today we're going to talk about the 5 most common physical symptoms that can happen while you are grieving.
Let's get into it.
We're going to start off gross with number 1, and that is digestive issues. So because of the stress that you're going through with your grief, many people experience bowel issues with either diarrhea or constipation. A lot of people get sick to the stomach. Grief can actually exacerbate symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. So if you already have that condition, when you're grieving, it tends to get worse.
Well, that's gross.
Kind of along the same lines, grief can also cause people to experience weight loss or weight gain. So those are some noticeable digestive issues that go on with your body when you are grieving. Number 2 is kind of surprising. I know it surprised me. Grief can actually manifest itself in your body as allergic reactions. So you can end up getting hives or rashes or itchy skin as a result of your grief. I actually had this happen after I lost my daughter. I got this huge rash all along my neck and shoulder, and I had no idea what it was from until I talked to my doctor, and I found out it was actually like a stress reaction to the grief.
I just can't stand this itching anymore.
So if this happens, no need to worry about it. It is a pretty common symptom, so you can talk to your doctor or you can try some like hydrocortisone cream to help with those symptoms. I'm curious, what have been your most common physical symptoms on your grief journey? Share in the comments and let other people know what stuff that you've physically been going through so that we can all feel more comfortable and see that we are all in this together and what we're feeling is normal. Number 3 is just general aches and pains in the body. So this is kind of similar to like muscle stiffness and joint pain, which again can actually be triggered by your grief. So you can just start to feel sore all over your body.
Experiencing pain in your muscles and aching. And
the other thing that can happen kind of along the same lines as this is you can start to experience chest pains, and a lot of times they're just sort of phantom chest pains because of your grief. However, there is actually something called broken heart syndrome, and it is a physical manifestation of your grief that can actually cause you to have problems with your heart. So if you are having chest pain of any kind, or you feel like it's beyond the normal scope of just, the typical kind of feeling, please consult your doctor. Any sort of chest pains, I tell people just get yourself checked out just to make sure, because that is a legitimate thing that happens with people having almost heart attacks because of their grief. Number 4 is just general flu or cold type symptoms. Grief, because our body is working so hard to process everything that we're going through, it actually suppresses our immune system. So it makes us more prone to the typical things like cold and flu. So if you are experiencing sneezing, coughing, headaches, sore throat, chills, things like that, they are all common manifestations of the grief that is in our body. And that is because your body's focusing on other things and it leaves our immune system vulnerable to the typical things that are out there.
Germs everywhere.
And the last, and I would say definitely the most common physical symptom of grief, is extreme exhaustion. It is hard to describe to someone who's not grieving how freaking tiring grieving actually is. Grief causes us to go through so much emotionally and physically that our body feels tired even when we shouldn't be tired. People who are in grief can sleep all night, take a nap during the day, and you still feel freaking exhausted. Like the only way I think of to describe it is just like a bone deep exhaustion.
I'm so tired.
This was probably one of my main symptoms, and honestly, I still struggle with this, where it doesn't matter how much rest and sleep I get, I just feel freaking tired all of the time. I know that that's normal, and I know that that's a symptom of my grief. So if that is happening with you, or if any of these things are happening with you, just make sure that you take the time to take care of yourself. To help with some of the immune problems, make sure that you are drinking lots of fluids and that you're trying to eat healthy foods when you can. Make sure for the joint aches and the stiffness, you are trying to move your body a little bit every day. It doesn't have to be a lot, but really just sort of the basics of good health can go a long way to help some of these symptoms. However, we all know that we don't just get through grief easily. We don't just move on. It is a very long and involved process. So there's no quick fix for these things. You can pop some Tylenol or some ibuprofen or get medicine from your doctor if you need it. But a lot of these things are just sort of things that we're going to have to endure as our body and our mind are processing what we're going through. So hang in there, one day at a time. You can get through it. But I just wanted to assure you that if you're experiencing any of these things, that they are all normal.
A word of caution.
I do want to caution you that if any of your symptoms become debilitating or become even frightening to you, or if you feel like something is just off and it's not a normal symptom, please, please, please head to your doctor, head to the hospital, head somewhere. Trust your gut instinct here. If you feel like there's something really wrong beyond the typical grief symptoms, please get checked out for your own safety. You know your body best, and a lot of times our guts can tell us stuff that our brain doesn't really want to accept. So go get help if you need it from a professional. We want everyone to stay safe.
You just have to trust your gut.
And even though grief is challenging mentally and physically, like we just said, you can improve, and we will get through this together. So if you found this video helpful, I would love it if you would subscribe if you haven't already, if you like the content, or give the thumbs up or leave a comment to help the YouTube algorithm so that I can reach more people. If you need any more grief resources, please feel free to check out my website or sign up for my newsletter. I send out a lot of things about grief through there, just once a month with helpful hints and articles and behind the scenes kind of videos. So that's a great way to stay on top of the latest things that I've been talking about. Till next time, stay healthy, take care of yourselves like always. I am sending love and hugs. I will leave another video up here for you to watch, so I will see you in that one. Take care, guys. Bye.